Hey guys, TikTok Sully here, or just Sully, and today I wanted to bring you guys a video talking about Kanye West's first clothing line, Pastelle, and why it got cancelled and never released. Pastelle has a lot of mystery surrounding it, mainly because it's the brand that never was, and also because it took place in a different era to what we know of Kanye in fashion today. As many of you know, the line was brought about around 2006, and by the end of 2009, it was confirmed to be cancelled. But what you may not be aware of is why it was cancelled. So that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today. First, we need to start at the beginning and take a look at the brand's timeline when Pastelle was Kanye's main focus. In 2005, Kanye had officially won a Grammy for his first album, College Dropout, and had just released his second album, Late Registration. So with his music duties feeling somewhat fulfilled, he was finally able to put the right effort into his other passion, being fashion, and thus Pastelle was announced. Kanye had hopes to have the line ready to release in 2006, but by the time that came around, he had only really assembled a team. So it wasn't until later that year that the team were finally able to start working on designs. Pastelle was more of a collaborative project and Kanye was the creative director. The way he approached it was that he brought together all of his favorite designers to help him create pieces from his perspective. This included people close to him such as Virgil Abloh and Don C, but then he also brought people on such as Kim Jones, Ben Baller to help with jewelry, Cause to help with logo design, and by the time the brand announced it was cancelling, there was something of 30 designers behind Pastelle, some of whom hadn't even met each other, and we'll get back to this point later on in the video. By 2007, Kanye was feeling good about Pastelle, so he began marketing it by mentioning it in songs such as Stronger and Swagger Like Us. So go ahead, go nuts, go ape, especially in my Pastelle on my page. Thanksgiving, do we even got a question? Hermes Pastelle, I passed the dressing. Around this time, street fashion was also in that kind of bright and playful era where brands such as Babe, Billionaire Boys Club and Ice Cream were what was popping, and this had a direct influence on the outlook of Pastelle because this was the direction it was also headed in. And again, we'll get back to this point later on in the video. So why exactly did Pastelle shut down? Well, there isn't actually one definite reason. Rather, there was a bunch of issues that accumulated which led to the brand being cancelled, and we can start with the first being the death of Kanye's mother, Donda West. In 2007, Kanye's mother unexpectedly died due to surgery complications, and this hit Kanye hard. He was very close to his mother, so when this happened, I feel like it forced him to get back into music because that was where he was really able to express himself, and this led to the release of 808s and Heartbreak. The second reason was that the collections for the brand never actually seemed ready to be released. Throughout the 2 to 3 years that Pastelle was in the works, the line constantly got delayed due to it not being ready. So this eventually took a toll on the brand because it seemed like it never actually got to the point of being ready. This could be attributed to Ye's perfectionist tendencies, but also due to the fact that the whole team were very unorganized. Which brings me to my third point, being that the whole Pastelle system was actually very chaotic. As I mentioned earlier, there was something of 30 people behind Pastelle, and some of them hadn't even met each other. They had only spoken via text or call. So the team didn't even know who they were working with, and they didn't really have the ability to create that collaborative spirit that is often needed with team efforts. Pastelle was also more of an art project rather than a business, and due to this, it was run more like an art project rather than a business. So this was another aspect of the disorganization that was going on over there. Because this was Ye's first real attempt at clothing, I feel like he went in there with a total idea of creativity and perhaps misjudged the business side. So it wouldn't have been able to flourish like that, because after all, things like this are still considered a business. By the beginning of 2009, Pastelle was teased to finally be releasing again, but of course was delayed yet again. And by the end of 2009, another big event took place, which I'm sure you're all aware of, and that was the VMA's Taylor Swift incident. Now, I don't need to go into detail about what happened that night because it's pretty infamous, but what I do know is that the negative media attention Kanye received after this was at an all-time high. This took place on the 13th of September, and literally a month later, in October, word came out that Pastelle was cancelled indefinitely. The first collection lookbook had also leaked earlier in the year, which was just another nail in the coffin. But after the Taylor Swift incident, I feel like this really closed the doors on the venture. And the last reason for it being cancelled was that Kanye just lost interest. During this time, he was also working on a lot of other things, such as his Louis Vuitton collaboration and even his Nike collaboration, so this took up his designing attention. Also, as I explained earlier, when Pastelle was forming, it was during this time when this playful aesthetic was at its peak. By the time it was being cancelled, fashion had moved forward and Kanye had found a new love, being high fashion. After Pastelle was cancelled, his motivation went on to wanting to work on high-end women clothing, which is exactly what we saw from him. In 2011, Kanye had his second attempt at fashion, this time by venturing off into the women's world and starting his self-titled Kanye West women's line. He presented his first collection for it for the Spring-Summer 2012 show, and he even went on to do another show for the Fall-Winter season before deciding to end that as well. But that further led him into even more opportunities, such as his APC collaboration, and he continued working with Nike to produce the Air Yeezy 2, which had a long run. And after that was done, he brought it all together in one package and moved on to Adidas to produce the Yeezy brand, which is what we all know him by today. In hindsight, Pastelle acted as a learning experience for Kanye and got him ready for his future in Yeezy. Looking back on Pastelle now, the brand has almost like a legendary status in streetwear fashion, and that's partly due to the fact that it never happened. Perhaps if it did come about, it wouldn't be as revered as it is today and may have even become saturated. And the fact that Kanye was actually finally able to break into fashion, it wasn't a total loss after all. Of course, in 2016, Ye gave the creative rights of Pastelle over to Ian Connor to revive it, and it seemed like it was finally going to come about, but even those efforts ended up coming to an end, and Pastelle still continued to be the brand that never was. Perhaps it really never was meant to be. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and got a better understanding of why Pastelle never came about. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, as it always helps. And also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, which is TikTok Sully, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that down below in the description. Also, if you're new here and you're interested in fashion and hip hop, then make sure you also hit that subscribe button by clicking on this button over here. But that's all from me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.